girls there. That's Dave. He runs with me. Dave's Lily's dad, and she was taken from us when she was 8 months old with a disease called mitochondrial disease. And we had no idea. We were thrown into the dark, like a long dark tunnel. Never heard of it. You know, baby's going to die, there's nothing we can do. We had no idea where we were, with no one to talk to, and felt desperate. And so we started the charity to raise awareness, finding out more and more about it. 1 in 200 babies could be born with a defective mitochondrion. May never bring any problems, but it could cause infertility. It's been linked to diabetes and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's in older people. These are things we found out along the journey over 6 years. And because of the help of the people who've supported us, we're getting more and more runners in the marathon every year. They all beat me every year. And we've raised £1 million. So,
£1 million for that charity which you created. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, the other thing that's always a feature of your race is you generally stop for a pint on the Isle of Dogs, don't you?
Yeah.
You're the same guy.
I do. So don't listen. You've read it all, everything in the brochure, and you've had everyone talking to you about it, so don't follow my advice. Follow the proper advice. But it has become something of a tradition. It was a bit of a joke. As you go down the Isle of Dogs and you turn the final left to come back up to Canary Wharf, there's the pub on the right-hand side. And I tend to just stay there for about 5 minutes and get a much-needed and medicinal sugar boost from a pint.
And your time is usually in the 5:15, 5:45
No,
race.
it's slower than that.
Is it slower now?
It is getting slower. I'll tell you, last year, Dave and I were at 18 miles, we were an hour inside our best time. And this is serious, serious point. Because the training had gone well, and we both trained, you wouldn't believe me to look at me, but we do train well. And last year trained harder than we had done before, both of us. And we flew at the start. Because it gave us some sort of false sense of security, I think, or confidence. And by 18 miles, we were an hour inside our best ever time, running together. And at about 18 miles and 1 yard, the wheels fell off, seriously. And all I can say to you, if that does, one, don't go too fast, know your pace, know the pace you've trained at, and stick to that pace. They'll go away from you at the start, and you're thinking, oh, I can't be behind a walking dinosaur, running King Kong, or whatever it is. Know your pace, stick to your pace. Just stay with that, be comfortable with it. And if you do hit the wall, just walk yourself out of it. Talk to someone who's around you. A guy we passed last year on about 15, I think it was. He'd lost his daughter that summer and he was in a bit of a state, and we talked to him. And I just remember, I was sort of partially deaf, I didn't know where I was or anything. I remember him coming up and talking very close to my ear. Whatever he said got me going again. And just walk your way out of that bad situation and then feel, one, immensely proud that you're running the race. Two, immensely strong in yourself that you're running the race. Three, however far you go, whether it's a mile, you've only got 25 left. Whether it's 3 miles, you've got 23 left. And try and be strong all the way through. You'll get incredible encouragement all the way around. If any of you have never, hands up those who haven't run it before. Hands up those who haven't run it before. Well, you'll hear people say, the crowd put 10 yards on you every minute, and they do. It's the most amazing experience of your life. It's terribly emotional. You'll cry, you'll laugh, you'll see some sights. But what you're doing is wonderful. It's a wonderful city, especially this year with what's happened elsewhere. I think what we're doing as a collective 30-odd thousand is amazing. And hats off to all of you who are doing it.
If we brought you onto your normal theme music, it would have been the Bristol City theme music.
Yeah.
Your first love being football, yeah, you're saying yeah. Down there is Brian Webber, the two of them, the only Bristol City fans in London today. And we're not quite into the business end of the season, and Bristol City have been relegated. I think they're playing my pub next year, aren't they?
Yeah, the pub vets team. Yeah. Listen, I'm one of the, I don't know how many there are around, but I saw Bristol City go top of the old First Division briefly. They beat Arsenal on the opening day in 1976. And you were there, weren't you? And something like 7 years later, I saw them go 92nd in the league when they lost up at Rochdale. And so we've been there before, been up and down a bit. But
have you ever had to commentate on Bristol City live?
Yeah, that's where I started. I was a kid down there playing. I didn't make the grade. The pace I had running the marathon was the pace I ran at football. I could get up and back on the pitch in the same month, let alone not the same day, the same 90 minutes. But then I started with Radio Bristol. But since then, since I've moved away, 30, 40 years ago now, whatever it is, I have commentated on them very, very infrequently. And when I commentate on them, they invariably lose. And it's quite hard to be, I wish I could say that I was